There's always been an innovation economy, and JP Morgan has an entire business dedicated to helping it thrive. By bringing together founders, startups, investors, and ideas, JP Morgan's commercial bank helps empower thousands of high-growth companies that are shaping the present and the future. With tailored banking solutions and a global business network, JP Morgan helps innovators scale for today and tomorrow. Visit jpmorgan.com/startups to find out how they can help you build your future. Products and services of JP Morgan Chase & Company and its affiliates are subject to availability, eligibility, and applicable terms and policies. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to TechCrunch Live. My name is Brian Heater. I am the hardware editor at TechCrunch. I am actually going to be filling in for Matt Burns this week while he is on location at a middle school field trip. I am very excited to kick off today's event. For those of you who haven't tuned in before, at TechCrunch Live, we speak to a startup founder and one of their key investors to get some insight into the processes behind building and growing a startup. And then roughly at about the halfway point, we'll switch gears and we'll bring on a trio of very, very early stage startups to pitch their companies and get questions and feedback from our two illustrious guests. And a quick note that we will also be accepting some questions from the audience through the Grip platform. All right, with that in mind, I am very excited to bring those two guests up now. Natalie Gordon is the founder and CEO of Babylist, a baby commerce and registry service. Last year, she was named to Inc.'s Female Founders 100 and Entrepreneurs 100 Women of Impact lists. Prior to all of that, she worked as a software engineer at Amazon and Amazon Fresh. And Jesse Draper is a founding partner at Halogen Ventures, which focuses on early stage investing in female-led and co-led consumer technology startups. She is the creator and host of the Valley Girl Show and was named one of the top 10 early stage female investors by Business Insider. Thanks both of you for joining us this afternoon or noon or evening, depending on the respective part of the world that all of you are in. I wanted to actually kick off today's conversation by noting how Babylist's approach to the earliest stages of building a startup diverged from a lot of the companies that we tend to speak with here at TechCrunch Live. About a year ago, actually, I think exactly a year ago this week, the company announced a $40 million Series C featuring Jesse's Halogen Ventures, among others. It was a big round, but it came about a decade, I think maybe even exactly a decade into Babylist's existence. Natalie, what was the reasoning for effectively holding off on a large institutional round for so long?
Yeah, I feel like I didn't actually have examples of Babylist out there where I had been working on the company from a decade, but kind of from day one, the service actually makes money. And it makes money, like the bigger we grow and the more users we serve, the more money we made. And so it was actually that we just never explicitly made the decision to have that round of funding. We were really busy on growing the business. And because of our business model, we were able to do that like in a very bootstrapped way. And I would always, if people would say, like, is this a venture business or is this a lifestyle business? And that would just really grate on me because this was a great business. And we made the decision, I guess, last summer, like, so over a year ago, we kicked off this fundraise that this was the right time for us to raise that big round.
Was it a really concerted decision, or was it just sort of, you were building your company and you were just going, I guess, effectively with what worked at the time?
Yeah, exactly. We were making, we never explicitly said we're not raising money. It was really like, let's build the business.
Yeah. So Jesse, as we noted at the top of the conversation, Halogen tends to invest in early stage startups. I think that makes up the lion's share of your portfolio. When you looked at a company like Babylist, which, isn't necessarily the stage that you would generally look at a startup, what drew you to them?
I think also we invest in the best female founders. So we want to be an early stage, but we also, our LPs love us taking advantage of a great opportunity like this. And I think what stood out to me here being that it was a little bit later stage, and we've done this with other companies like Elvest and a couple of others because they're just incredible leaders, like Natalie here. I opened my email, and Ryan Neese from Next Play Capital had sent me this deal. And I mean, yeah, you're saying we invest in early stage. We invest in early stage. We're often first check in, and the numbers were much bigger in this deal. It was profitable. I mean, I think the first time Natalie pitched us, I about fell off my chair. Like, I was like, wait, I'm sorry, what, you're doing 200, what? And she's like, yeah, and we're profitable, and we've only raised 10 million ever. And that was, I mean, that's how a business should be built. And it's a tech company, and it's something I had heard of as a mom also. And so I was familiar with the brand. I'd used the product. I had a good experience, and I was like, okay, I want to like dig in a little more here. And, you know, I think she clearly is a great leader who focuses on the customer, and had built a business, as she was saying, that worked.
I wanted to isolate something you said there. So that you said that's how a company should be built. I'm curious what you mean by that in this instance.
Well, I'm here. I just was at Web Summit today. I'm in Lisbon, Portugal. So that's why it's kind of dark behind me. It's nighttime here. And you know, I've been talking all day about it's a bear market right now. This is the time that it's really going to test all of these entrepreneurs. And, you know, a lot of entrepreneurs are unaware, like, no, we're in this recession. We're going deeper into this recession. And that's how, you know, Natalie built this incredible company before this, with profitability in mind, a company that was making money. Like, we're no longer going to be living in this time of uber valuations that don't match revenues, you know, and this is how a company should be built. And she had built a beautiful business. I mean, when I dug into those numbers, it was like candy. It was so fantastic.
So let's walk through the pros and cons a little bit, Natalie, from your perspective. I mean, obviously, things have worked out fairly well for you in the company, but what are some of the biggest pros and cons when it comes to, I guess, effectively bootstrapping the company for so long early on?
Yeah, I think when I think about like the pros of like this bootstrapping path, myself and employees own, and seed investors like own a greater percentage of the organization. Like, we were able to raise at this higher valuation because we had built the business to back it up. I think we also could be really focused on building the business, especially me as CEO. I'm very internally focused. I am always trying to like focusing on our team and growing the business, as opposed to spending months talking to external investors. I think for us was really good. On the flip side, I think when we were really like facing some questions at our stage, particularly with hiring executives, a lot of executives joining this company that's like very founder led with no board oversight is actually like much riskier than joining where like they actually can talk to the board and really like respect that group of individuals and know the company has oversight. And actually, I've been so happy with the investors we chose to bring on, Jesse and others. Like, they truly have been value add. So those are some of the pros and cons for us.
Jesse, when you look at it on your side and when you're, again, weighing the pluses and minuses of investing in something really early stage or investing in this fairly mature company that has, you know, proven themselves in the market, what are the benefits of each approach?
I think this is de-risked, first of all. And something also, Natalie, that I just wanted to mention that you had done, which I thought was really incredible, is you also pitched me, and, you know, when you started going over revenue, you said, I was like, we're early stage investors. Like, I mean, how do we even have access to this incredible deal? And you said, I'm going to make a bunch of money, and I want to make it for women. And it was the coolest thing. And I was like, I want to be one of those women. So I thought that was really, really incredible. But I mean, her opportunity, it's de-risked, it's later stage. You know, the riskiest investing is seed stage investing. You have to do 20 to 30 shots in a barrel. And, you know that a large percentage of that is going to go under, well over 50%. And I mean, that's, standard, and one or two incredible investments can make your portfolio. And, that depends on a couple of things. But when you see a deal like this, for me, I'm like, this de-risks the portfolio. We also raised a special purpose vehicle for this deal with our LPs, which is like a fund specifically for this deal. And our LPs were very excited about it.
I'm curious, Jesse, do you ever find yourself in the position of telling a company that it's too early stage, that it's not time to seek this level of investment that they're looking for?
Sometimes I think, I think that is feedback VCs give a lot. I've definitely given that feedback, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily too early. Sometimes I just want to see the patterns, and I want to see that the founder keeps coming back and does what they said they were going to do 6 months prior. And so I say, put me on your update list. I want to hear, about your progress. And then I'll often come in later. It's a long journey. This is Natalie, we're newer investors in Natalie's company, but what do they say? It's like a 10-year journey to an overnight success. And I think that's, that's kind of how it looks. So I want to make sure we're getting in business with, people who do what they say they're going to do at the early stages.
So I think this is probably a pretty good spot to launch into the slides that you brought, Natalie. And again, with the caveat that this is the Series C deck that we're seeing. Yeah. So this is exactly what Jesse saw, about a year ago.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through the first few?
Yeah. So let me kind of set the stage. We would be meeting with the investor, and it would be all over Zoom. And they would actually often say something Jesse said, which is like, oh, I've used Babylist, either with my own baby or I gave a gift. And then they would do this thing that was kind of like this soft no. It was like, well, we rarely invest when we're meeting someone for the first time. Or it would be the thing where I'm like, I know, it was the soft no. And I structured the deck very specifically. So kind of on this slide, which is, I think the second slide I would be, or telling the origin story. So 10 years ago, I was a software engineer. I had this idea. I had my own son. Now he's in middle school. I would kind of tell that story. And then I would do the thing. It would be the mic drop, and I wanted to get their attention. And it would be so this year we're going to make $240 million. From our platform. And the person, they would lean forward, and their eyes, they would be super energized. And it was oh, you mean GMV? And I'm no, I mean revenue. And this is how it would go. And they would literally call someone into the room, be I want to get someone else. And they would start scheduling the next call. And then I would kind of walk them through the business. So that was very purposeful. Maybe something that you're not able to do with seed stage, where there really is that here's the team, here's the problem, here's the solution. I ordered it very differently based on where we were currently at. This was the slide.
Great. So I do want to sort of contrast that a little bit with the sorts of the decks that we tend to see here, which are, seed, maybe Series A. Again, Jesse, obviously a very different case here, but when you're looking at a fairly early stage pitch deck, what sorts of information are you looking for up front?
I'm looking to know that the founder has a really, really big vision. I'll ask a lot of questions okay, well, where's this going to go? What's your next product? Tell me about 5-10 years down the road. I want to see, you can only see so much at the early stages. It's 2-3 people on a team with an idea. Sometimes they have a product, sometimes they don't. I mean, the things I get are amazing. It's clay prototypes of whatever it may be, to things drawn on paper, this is what it's going to look like. And I mean, what we do is an amazing thing. We build these businesses of the future, and you really have to have that imagination. And so I like to know that they'll roll with me and build this vision with me, but really that they're leading the vision. I like to know that the product is somehow thoughtful and proprietary and defensible. I love it when I don't understand what they're building because it's so new. It's whoa, I have to jump 10 years forward before this could even be possible. Because those are the billion-dollar businesses of the future. And so those are a couple of the things I look for. And then, revenue, consistency, we call references and do all the normal things.
That's actually brings up a really interesting point. Natalie, a conversation that you and I had around this recently was, I think, an element in this Series C round was not just, we're looking at revenues right now, we're looking at the product that's on the market, but really kind of mapping out, I guess I would say like a 10-year plan. Is that right?
Yeah. And that was, I think, even going back to our decision or like non-decision to fundraise, it really was about that bigger vision. And for me, there was really like a before and after for me, really seeing like what the bigger vision beyond this registry was. For me, it was like September 2019. And in the baby category, there's like an annual international conference once a year in Germany. And I had gone to that and just had these conversations with like baby product companies, CEOs, just had a lot of conversations, and it was so energizing. And out of it, I was like, I actually see like the bigger vision and how Babylist fits in it. And it was part of like me being really re-energized too. Like part of me also raising this was me saying, oh, I'm like here for the next 10 years. Like this is exactly what I want to be doing. So there really was that, that fit and like that us really believing in the growth opportunities.
That's an interesting, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying she had built the vision. I mean, when we came in, she'd built this vision already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe what you're alluding to there is a realization that you were here for the next 10 years was, maybe not something that was necessarily clear up front. So, and Jesse, it sounds like having the person who was involved in this for the very early stages who helped build it, it was important as an investor that they would be there to see it through.
Oh yeah, I think I asked her, but I'm sure I remember asking you questions like, well, you're sticking around, right? Like, what's the plan here? And now where are we going? But I mean, Natalie's building a beautiful business, and I hope more founders build businesses like this.
So was this really this vision or this idea or this notion that you were sticking around and the idea of what the future looked like, was that a key catalyst in seeking this $40 million round?
Definitely. And I think it's more about the vision than me sticking around. Like I'd been there for 10 years, but it was like when you bring on an investor, I would actually say this is applicable to like everyone fundraising at every level. Bringing in the investor who is aligned with how you are going to grow and sell the business is really important. Like you want to be really upfront about the kind of business you're going to be building. For us, it was this vision. It's that growth was great. It was a great moment in time to show like historical growth. The market was great. Totally not true now a year later. So like with a crystal ball, like there was a lot of luck there. It was actually, it was a good forcing function, and we saw it positively to really build that independent board of directors, like kind of catalyzed by the raise, and like truly believing in the vision, because that's also what we were really selling.
Yeah, this year mark that we just happened to hit this week as we're speaking, the two of you, is a nice contrast. And Jesse, can you talk a little bit about the difference in terms of being an investor, of being a VC a year ago versus today?
I mean, a year ago, even in the beginning of COVID, I think as an investor, you do have this bird's eye view of the market. And it's really hard to point out to your companies, and they all think they're building this like beautiful and unique butterfly. And I'm like, okay, so there's actually lots of competitors. I've seen them all. They've all pitched me. And I just need to tell you, you need to focus on profitability. You need to cut your burn, whatever it may be. But in the beginning of COVID, I mean, we were starting to tell our companies this, and there's always a few stragglers. Like there's a few I had conversations with last week, and I'm like, okay, cool. Remember like 2 years ago when we had this conversation about profitability? Like, yeah, no, like that needs to set in now. It's a little late. And I think you're still seeing, I mean, the companies who cut now, are able to like create a much longer runway, and maybe they're lucky and they've raised some money recently. Those are the ones who will survive right now. I mean, it's tough. Natalie's in a very differentiated business, but we do a lot of D2C products and services, and that's a tough place to be right now.
Is there a sense in which a baby registry is, I mean, not necessarily recession proof, but at least like perhaps not as beholden to the market as other startups?
I think we have tailwinds and headwinds. We definitely see the headwinds of like the acquisition costs going up, for example. But if you really think like the category is one of the last things people are gonna like cut. They're gonna prioritize getting the products for babies. Something we really saw going into COVID is in hard times, people actually wanted to be more helpful and get their friends and family, like be more generous with them. Like we're basically offering consumers a better free service. And so we're in a pretty good position in a recession.
How much, Jesse, on your end, how much are you looking at sort of specific market forces when it comes to the product itself and how it's impacted by, I guess, the macro environment?
Well, something else I'd like to just say about what Natalie's building is we're doing this huge, we did a big study last year on future of families, and that's childcare, ed tech, anything supporting the family in and around, like Babylist would be in there. We have great, we have We Care, we have quite a few. All of those companies in the last year have doubled in value in our portfolio. And I think that's a really great place to put your money. Like people have families. We now have tons of data saying how this is an enormous opportunity. Childcare alone is a $600 billion opportunity. And future families as a category is a $7.5 trillion opportunity. So I think in terms of verticals, this is a really great play right now.
Great. We talked, I guess, a little bit about how the two of you, I guess, met each other, or at least got on each other's radar. Can you talk a little bit about that early relationship? I guess we can start with Natalie, and why Jesse's company was one of the investors that you wanted to go with in this round.
Yeah. So what our round looked like is we were really pitching to find our lead. And so it was meeting some investors for the first time and officially pitching investors who we had known for a while. And out of that process, you kind of are trying to like time people right to get the term sheet, because the term sheet's really going to set like that valuation. And this is going to be the person who will be represented on your board of directors. And we were so happy with our lead. It was Norwest. Sonia Brown is the partner there. And so we had that lead in place, and we actually, we were like, okay, well, are we going to get back to work now? Or like, are we going to keep fundraising and keep this round open? It was like kind of an exhausting time. Like that had been a hard, like it was as hard as any process. It was hard. And we actually made the decision that we actually really wanted to do something because we thought it was the right thing to do. And it was that we really care about equity on cap tables and like wealth creation of like women and people of color. And so we were going to do this like extra 10 million part to the round, which was going to be like really open. Like I think we had some quantitative goals. And then that part of the process, we brought in some like great partners, talked to celebrities and athletes, amazing CEOs. And that was actually the context of our introduction.
Yeah. And I mean, as Natalie said, I mean, she was very deliberate about this. And I think that's great. When you're going out and you're fundraising, you've done your research, you know who you're talking to. I think that's incredibly important for a founder of any stage.
I'd love to hear a little bit of insight, Jesse, into your firm in terms of, how I guess in the early stages, how you sort of determined what your focus was going to be and what sorts of companies and founders you were going to be involved with.
Yeah, we're going into our third fund now, and we are fundraising, which is so weird for me to say, but I legally can say based on how we structured it with the SEC.
I'm glad you cleared it before the call.
So it's legal.
Yeah.
And we are Fund one and fund two. Fund one, I went out and I was pitching and I was saying, we're investing in women-run consumer tech companies. And I mean, I was laughed out of the room. People were like, women aren't starting companies. Are you kidding me? And, then we had some great early successes, and we used that to then raise our second fund, and we doubled down on a couple of categories that we saw real opportunity in consumer technology. And we realized women are starting companies across all verticals, and there's no issue finding a female founder. We have 70 companies, 100% female founded, and we always say there has to be a female in the founding team of 5, and we really haven't made an exception. I wouldn't even call it an exception beyond co-founders, except for maybe once. And so we're right now very focused on this category, Future of Family, and a couple others, but that's obviously very topical today because we're here with Babylist.
Yeah, and I mean, you alluded to this a little bit before, Natalie, but what specifically drew you to Halogen, and why was it a good fit for you for the Series C?
I think for Halogen, kind of when I think about really that value add, I think Jesse and Halogen are great connectors. And like, if you think about like, as opportunities come up, who can like really make those connections? I think that was definitely value add. We were really like purposely trying to bring in funds and individuals like Jesse and Halogen.
We also raised an SPV, and correct me if I'm wrong, Natalie, but you also were like, what percentage of that was female? Mm-hmm. Like who invested in that SPV? And we, she was so thoughtful about it. And we were like, oh, this percentage. And the majority of it was a female filled SPV. So it's making lots of women money, not just our firm.
Obviously, one of the roles that an investor can and probably should play in most cases is advisory, and one of the benefits I think of having a firm on early is they're able to provide some of that insight. If specifically in examples where you haven't launched a startup before. Natalie, what was your process early on? You were coming from Amazon, so obviously you had a lot of information about the tech environment in general, but what were you looking for in terms of those early hires and advisory roles?
I think for better, for worse, I figured out a lot of stuff on my own, and we kind of did things our own way. I think when advisory really comes in, it's someone who is like, this is totally, I think, what our own board does now, that they're able to say, here's what this looks like when it's great. And I'm going to like hold you to this. This is my expectation for you, and I'm going to help you get there. I think I would think in like our performance marketing, our FP&A function, like all of these things, it's actually really saying like, this is actually what this looks like at great. You're not there yet, and I want you to get there. I think that's where an advisor can like add the most value. That's what I try to do when I talk to early stage companies.
What role do you tend to play on that side of things, Jesse, when you are involved in that really early stage?
Well, we went into this conversation, I remember thinking, having a sort of conference with my team and saying, okay, what value can we add here? And something we really specialize in is go-to-market strategy, which she didn't need because she was already in market, but PR, communications, getting them out there. And, I know we've continued to introduce her to many influencers for physical events, for, doing partnerships. And that's something that we thought, okay, well, we can bring to the table specifically here. And we wanted everyone to know about Natalie and her amazing company.
Natalie, how large of a role did the pandemic play in this decision to go out and get this level of funding?
I don't think it really played in it. For sure, people had the question, like, actually, maybe they didn't enough. Like, and we all saw like, was this a COVID bump, like this accelerated growth? I think we had a really good argument that it wasn't, that it was like really a pull forward, and that's proved out. One thing I really appreciated through the pandemic, like, I guess, like even all of us talking right now on Zoom, like, I don't travel that much for work. I've got 2 kids. I have like this pretty like healthy balance in my life of like being a CEO and a mom. And I loved being able to do this over Zoom. Like, it's a lot of work. And it was actually just so much more efficient to be able to like do back-to-back Zoom meetings, not be like flying and driving to see people for these meetings.
Well, Jesse, I do have to point out the fact that you are in Lisbon right now as we're having this conversation. So like clearly there's still travel involved in your job. And I assume that that's a sign that that you do still see a value in face-to-face meetings.
I do. I mean, more recently, we've started prioritizing face-to-face meetings. I think Natalie, I think we invested through Zoom, and I met her for the first time in Los Angeles when they were doing a really great pop-up shop. That was super fun. It was Babylist cribs. And it was, that was interesting, but we were also able to, we had someone we knew send us the deal. We were able to call references, and we could do a lot of diligence. So I think you can still do deals, and deals will still be done on Zoom. I think there is an element though of in person, and this business, as a VC, this business is done a lot in person. You're a connector. I feel like I get so much more done in person at a summit like this, where I'm meeting 1 million companies and 1 million, potential fund investors, and just kind of networking in 3 days. And then you can kind of follow up, because you do need to be in the mix a little as a VC. As Natalie's running a company that was doing incredibly well. I think it is like you can have those Zoom conversations, but there are days where I'm so grateful that, look, I'm in Lisbon and I get to be a part of this cool thing.
Even prior to the pandemic, Jesse, on your side of things, even prior to the current economic downturn, is the pandemic going to have any sort of like long-term ramifications on the way your job looks going forward?
I think so. We're early stage investors, so the capital is still there, but I think you're seeing it dry up. Like you'll see it dry up here last. But I do think for my job in particular, we'll still be funding companies and growing companies. I think we're trying to see what those opportunities are right now. And there are a lot of opportunities. Childcare is broken for one, and there's so many problems that came out of this pandemic that I look at that as like, okay, we can go invest there. We can go invest there. Like, where do we solve these problems? So it's a great time to invest. If you do have dry powder, I think you should be really thoughtful about it. And it's a great time to start a company.
I'm curious, that last little bit. Why would you say that now is a great time to start a company?
Because of all the problems that have, like, a huge light has shined on, the pandemic has shined a light on all these, like childcare alone. Like, we all knew it was broken around the world, especially in the United States. Speaking from someone who's in Lisbon and learning about the childcare, which is much easier here. It's so broken, and there's such opportunity to create new businesses to solve these problems. You just think about and telehealth. I think we're going to see so much in digital health. We're doing a lot in consumer healthcare. We're kind of thinking no one wants to go into the hospital. That's like their last resort. How do you take your health into your hands first? There's so many problems that have come out of this. And you look at the last recession, Uber came out of that, Slack, all of these incredible businesses. So we're excited to see what the next ones are.
Natalie, are you seeing similar opportunities on your side of things?
Yeah, with the pandemic, we went to a fully remote team. And so I think for us, hiring and recruiting as we're growing is so difficult. And maybe unfortunately or fortunately for us, it's an easier time to hire, especially as a fairly stable company that's trying to do remote work really well. We've invested in some early stage companies as well, and are always looking at those opportunities, specifically in this space of expecting and new parents. I'm thinking of like what other opportunities are like now in time. I think we are also like heads down, and maybe for better or for worse, it was much different a year ago when your head was really being turned by that $2 billion IPO. Now it's like the market is telling us to stay heads down and keep operating.
I think one of the things that you said to me the other day that really jumped out at me, and this is probably to a certain extent an artifact of the pandemic, but also just people being more and more online, is how that has effectively extended your user base. Just, I guess, just the knowledge that people can actually just go online and, and purchase things.
Yeah, for us, I think there really was this shift in behavior. If you think about the audience we serve, it's these like new parents, they're our age, they're online, they're on their phone, but it's also grandma and great aunt and like godparents, and we serve all of them. And there was this real shift in grandma and older individuals feeling comfortable buying online, and they still love to buy in store, but they actually like learned how to do this and are like much more comfortable doing it. That was like pure pull forward behavior change.
Great. So we're actually right at the halfway mark right now, which means that it's time to shift gears. And we were going to hear from some of those very early stage startups that I alluded to at the top of the conversation. Jesse and Natalie, are you ready for some pitches?
So excited. I'm really
All right. All right. Just as a quick reminder, we'll be hearing from 3 companies. They'll have 2 minutes per pitch, and that will be followed by 4 minutes of feedback and Q&A from Natalie and Jesse. We're going to be starting things off with Kathy Tonner. Kathy, I can see the top half of your head. There we go. All right.
Okay.
Great.
Hi. My name is Kathy Tonner, and I'm the CEO and founder of Tonner Technologies, and we're an ed tech company, and our first app is called Permission Pal. And basically, I've been a school nurse for over 20 years, and I've seen firsthand the hassle involved in obtaining parental consent. For example, we have students that can't go on field trips because their parents didn't return the permission slip. We also have like teenage girls who want Tylenol for cramps, and I cannot give that because the parent didn't sign the permission slip. We also have students who are on free and reduced lunch, and they get these vendor services like free eye exams, free dental exams, and these vendors are unable to do the exams because the parents didn't give consent. So what we've done is we've tried to digitize the parental consent process through an app, and right now it's web-based. We have an MVP where people can just sign off with a check mark, but we're eventually going to have like a payment portal and a fundraising portal, and we think that this app will pay for itself because we'll have the fundraising aspect of the app that will help offset the costs. We plan to use a subscription-based business model where it would be like anywhere from $2 to $4 per student. And we have an amazing team of developers and a marketing gal. And I have a business partner, Nitin Vig. He just sold his company, Mobile Doorman, and he's excited to really bring Permission Pal into the 21st century and have teachers free up their time and do more teaching instead of wasting time on administrative tasks. So we want to say goodbye to pesky papers and hello to online authorization.
Sounds good. Yeah, didn't waste any time. I appreciate that. Jesse's got a 5 or 6 hour head start on the rest of us, so I'll let you kick things off.
I'm in Lisbon, Portugal, which is why he's saying that. Okay, so this is great. I love companies that come out of, there's a problem, you're solving it. I want to understand a little better just the revenue streams and what you're thinking. You're saying it's $2 to $4 per child for subscription. Is that monthly? And then, what does that look like? Walk me through that.
Well, we're hoping that it will be per student per year, and we're going to offer it free to like the teachers so that the teachers will fall in love with this. And then once the teachers are early adopters, then we're going to get the school districts, school principals to actually buy it for their schools. So we're looking at all different possibilities, but we really want to start small with the Montessori schools because we know that those are private schools and parents will be more likely to sign on for that, whereas opposed to the big public schools. However, public schools have a lot of students that are on free and reduced lunch, and they have Medicaid services. So for example, every time I give an Adderall pill, the schools get reimbursed for my services. So we think down the road that Permission Pal could be a billable service through Medicaid, the Medicaid billing that schools do.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I would say, I think it's smart you're going after private schools first. I think public schools, once you get into one, it's easier to kind of like move along, but it's tough. Those sales cycles are very long. And so that's just something to think about, more of a comment. Natalie, what are you thinking?
Okay, so I was looking at my phone because I had to pull up like an email I got on Monday because it was like, you have not sent in this permission slip and your son cannot go on the field trip today. It was like literally, I actually got it Sunday night and I was like, oh, I have to like go do this. Like how I would be such a bad mom if he couldn't do this. I loved how you really showed that you are the right person to tackle this problem, and like because of like being inside the school, and like really I think you really connected the dots on like why you want to found this. A couple things came up for me around like the experience and around the business model. I think for the experience, lots of people just have phones and just have SMS and like don't really have access to email. And I actually feel like you could be creating the solution that like works really well with like parents like who just have phones and would be doing this through text. I am not in ed tech, and I think Jesse might be alluding to it. I think monetizing in ed tech might be the hard thing. And I think your free to teachers is absolutely going to work. Mm-hmm. And then I think the thing we might challenge you on is 2 years down the line, is this a business or not? Like, mm-hmm. like, are you going to be able to like do those sales? I think you actually have some good ideas, but that's where I'd really want you to make sure you have eyes wide open that like, you're really going to need to validate that part.
Right. Well, we hope to get it sold to a company like Remind, or like Infinite Campus, or one of those big ed tech firms. That was like our exit strategy. Okay, and then thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, sir. We got a little more time.
Oh.
We got 30 seconds.
What are you thinking what's the big vision for 5 to 10 years? Don't think about the early exit yet because you have to get there. But what are you thinking? Are there other products down the line?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a school nurse, so we wanted to have an ed tech app for school nurses, and that was going to be called School Nurse 411 for all the kids who have allergy and asthma action plans, the peanut allergies. Then we were going to have another app for the social workers because so many of these kids have social emotional needs. And so we were going to kind of target all of the clinicians within the public school system. Like we have a social worker, speech therapist, OT, PT, nurse, and did I say social worker? Yeah. So that we wanted to have individual apps for each clinician.
Great. So now we are actually out of time right now. Kathy, thank you so much for joining us. Coming up next, we have our second pitch. Gana Timeko from Sayo. It'll take a second to get them on. There we go.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. So, well, thank you for joining us. You are going to have 2 minutes to pitch. You will see a countdown clock starting shortly in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, my name is Gana Timeko. I am a founder and CEO of Sayo. Sayo is a real-time accent transforming software. We live in a global interconnected world where there are 1.3 billion adult English speakers. Over 1 billion of us are non-native. Understanding unfamiliar pronunciation can be challenging. When we cannot understand each other well, our conversations become long and frustrating. And this all changes with Sayo. With our software, users can choose to hear pronunciation they understand best, or they can choose to power their speech with accent of their choice and achieve it without any pronunciation training. Sayo is a deep tech speech AI company. And despite our product being new and creating new category, we see significant interest coming from the market. And we see interest coming from call center and service center, teleconferencing, media, and speech recognition sectors. We signed 2 letters of intent, one with Crisp AI and another with AI Media, giving us access to over 150 million active users. We also did early evaluation with Microsoft, and Microsoft gave us KPIs we need for potential integration with MS Teams. We are on a mission of revolutionizing international communication, and we look for investors to join us on a journey of changing it and making it better and bringing delight to our conversations. If you want to check out our demos, we are at sayo.ai. It is SAYSO.ai. And I think I'm done faster than.
No, it's fine. No, I always appreciate when you have enough time to get the plug in and everything on there. So you fit a lot in there. Natalie, do you want to kick us off this time?
Okay, I'm really excited. I think when you think about trends and like a why now, I think you actually have this, like, there's this amazing time as we're so global, workforces are global, we're moving online, and you're saying, I can make this more effective. I can even change maybe who can participate in this global workforce. And like artificial intelligence, like now is the time when really the capabilities have caught up. I wonder in your actual pitch, do you have a mic drop moment where you can actually show the technology live? Because if you can set that up, like it would make our conversation even more magical.
Actually, we could. The problem is that my accent is not very thick. So my accent is quite mild. So like if I turn it on my accent, it's not like super impactful. And it actually goes against like doing us favor. Yeah. You know, it's very visible when you put like thicker accent, like Japanese accent, maybe Indian accent, maybe Russian and German and French. So we also tried on Irish and Scottish, and it's yeah, like I lived in the US for too long, so it's
maybe just figure out if like you had a 2-minute pitch, if it was a 3-minute pitch, if we like could see the technology, like I would never forget it. So maybe try to have that show, not just tell, for something that is so experiential.
Yeah. Usually I try to show demos during the pitch, but here we had limitation of not.
That's right.
Okay, got it. You don't need my advice.
This is why I was saying, like, come to our website, check it out.
Yeah.
I love this. I love, we really focus at Halogen on diversity and inclusion at the earliest stages, and you're actually helping every company at every level, encourage that. And, you're solving a major problem. I would love to, so you were talking about the telecommunication companies, what do those payments look like? How much are they looking to pay you? What does it look like in terms of how what these typical sales deals will look like?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like those are very different size deals. So like different things we can charge for example, companies like Microsoft, where it's part of licensing and part of subscription. So like number of users matter. And it's very different price tag that we can charge, for example, if we're gonna sell directly to call centers, and we know the prices, and they go anywhere from between $5 per seat per month to $45 per seat per month. And the higher rate we can charge, much higher rate we can charge in sales situations where they're actually selling product or service to their customer. So they're willing to pay a much higher price for that.
And where are you based right now?
San Francisco, California.
San Francisco. I mean, the cool thing is I'm always trying to push my companies to go international too. And you can scale internationally very quickly, I'd hope. And that will make you a much stronger business.
Yeah, I hope so too. I have a team of people in Europe. I actually have my R&Ds in Poland. Yeah.
It's great. And so the product's live, and people paying for it?
So it's not quite like, so we're at deep tech and we're technological readiness level 6. So we have working technology end to end, and we have like some multiple prototypes. And the app is 80% ready, still needs some testing. Yeah.
And then are there any products you're thinking of building off of this? Because I'd imagine this is a great customer that, you'll understand them better than the majority of the world, and you'll be able to build other things for them. What does that look like for you?
So there are like multiple things. So for me, it's future of work more than anything else. And I see like really global application and multiple users in future of work rather than call center. So like applications with augmented speech, functionalities like augmented voice, lots of things with sound clarity that we can do and we will do in this.
Great. Well, that audible buzzer means that it's time, but thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciated that pitch. Great. We've got one more coming up. Carlos Devalle of Tonder. Let's give Carlos a second to join us. There we go. Hey, Carlos. So you're going to have about 2 minutes to pitch. You're going to see a countdown clock that should be starting 3, 2, 1, go.
So for companies that accept digital payments in Latin America who are dissatisfied with managing and making cost and time consuming payment integrations and experience low approval rates, on average about 60%, Tonder is a solution that brings together all payment providers to its platform for companies to connect in just one integration. And unlike traditionally that companies rely on just one payment processor for credit and debit digital payment, Tonder is able to route transactions to multiple payment processors at the same time, which results in a healthier approval rate for these companies.
Great. Okay. Quick pitch, but got straight to the heart of the matter. Jesse, you want to kick us off?
Sure. Can you tell me about one of your customers?
So we target medium-sized enterprise, startups, and e-commerce in clothing, jewelry, electronics, and health.
And then what does that look like for them?
In terms of what?
In terms of, what are you making? How does the rev share work?
Oh, okay. So in terms of pricing, we charge a cost per transaction. And what they have been seeing is that we were able to help them increase their approval rates between 5 to 10% on a monthly basis.
You're able to increase their approval rates?
Yeah, for transactions.
Okay, and these are, maybe I don't understand, why are they not being approved?
Okay, yes. So 70% of credit and debit cards in Latin America are local.
60%.
Yeah. They're local credit and debit cards. So companies that accept digital payments from e-commerce to startups with their apps need to go and make like multiple payment integrations because international processors won't process these local cards and things like that.
Oh, that's so interesting.
So you're focused on the Latin American market then to start. It sounds like that this product was specifically built with Latin American in mind.
With Latin America, but like since we're partnering with international and local payment providers, we're able to escalate quickly because Europe has the same problem, and we have been seeing on that landscape other key players popped up. But yes, mainly we're starting in Latin America.
So the main problem is they can't take these cards because they're local providers.
Yes, they won't accept them.
Interesting. Okay. Natalie, do you have any questions?
I think this is just an example where Jesse and I we need you to educate us. And so I think in terms of how many businesses are affected by this, like what's the TAM, why are you the right person to start this company, and why hasn't anyone else started it before? Like kind of answering those questions would all help like me, Jesse, any other investor really contextualize what you're doing, because we're walking into the conversation with very little context.
Yes, and at the end of the day, like the US doesn't have these types of pains, but in Latin America, for example, like big companies need to go and hire a bunch of engineers to make multiple payment integration. And after that, like develop different processes for them to keep up with their own payments infrastructure, which it takes a lot of time and it really costly for them. And like, for example, startups that have like delivery startups here, they won't process your credit and debit card. So they will gonna send you like a physical credit and debit terminal for you to place your card and make the payment. So it's a really big pain. So that's what is happening here in Latin America. And also we have 39 currencies in over 38 countries. So at the end of the day, like on average, companies go and make between 6 to different 8 integrations with different payment providers for them to be able to accept payments. Because at the end of the day, their work is to have a great product to deliver to their customer, and the customer wants it, but if they can process the payment, so that's the huge problem that we're currently solving.
And then once you solve this problem, where do you go from there? And are you thinking about building on the blockchain? Because I also feel like Bitcoin would solve this.
Yes, so cryptocurrencies are a huge asset for this problem, for these companies to be able to manage the payment infrastructure. But at Thunder, we want to be the last stop for companies that accept digital payments by building a full suite and ecosystem of tools for them to be fully operational. So not just payments, but for example, shipping and all of these things that e-commerce companies need for them to be fully operational, instead of going between 8 to 10 different providers to go and be able to sell online. They're going to be able to found it and set it up at Thunder.
That's great.
Great. We are all out of time. Carlos, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. And thanks everyone else for joining us on TechCrunch Live this week. Real quick, next week, we are going to be joined by Karen Klein of Bloomberg Beta and Alex Taub of Upstream. But for us this week, Natalie and Jesse, I really appreciate your taking the time.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Everyone check out Babylist. Buy all your gifts there.
Have a good afternoon or evening or whatever time it is, wherever you happen to be.